I was hunting on this program, and we need to answer a few queries of the triages in order to advance further, as they have a few doubts, and we need to clear that out before moving ahead. And we would continue hunting on the same program as we keep on fixing the triage doubts one by one. One report went to a review stage and it's marked as medium. Let's see what bounty we would get out of that. So I'm just checking if I answered all the queries of the triages, then I would move further with testing the other things. This program is new, so whatsoever I am finding, so we need to like uh, work with the triages. So you need to be very polite and cunning at the same time to deal with these fellows, otherwise they won't give you anything. All right, so I would be using automation on this particular target to get more results which might be left from my eye. We would be testing that even. So we are going to use a tool known as magic recon, cd magic recon, and this particular tools needs a configuration file to run properly. Like we need to define some things in the configuration files. I don't want the GitHub thing to be run. Uh, the burp collaborator link I must give so it can test for SSRFs if there are any. I gave that in, and how you particularly use that tool is magic reckon minus h to see the documentation. If you want to just perform the analysis on a single domain, you do like this, along with that if you want full reconnaissance and the vulnerability scanning, or you just want the vulnerability scanning. So if in my case I just want the vulnerability scanning to be done, reconnaissance is not much, but let's do with the vulnerability scanning. So it's telling me that these headers are missing. Then it would search for open redirects if any. By then we would continue with the manual approach of finding things. We would go one by one into that approach. So I'm going to test a very interesting bug. Me and my friend like search for it. So for that purpose you need to see if you can buy something without logging in, if it allows. If it allows to buy something without logging in, then only that bug would make sense. I'm seeing that. Alright, so we are not into our account. The basket is right here. If I click on proceed to payment, it says I don't want samples. Right. So it says to finalize your order, please. I am logging in as guest, right? So what error it's giving me? Alright. So I am entering a mail which don't really, for example, I'm entering the mail of a victim right here. Alright. And I say continue as guest. I continued as guest, It says, is email available? Response to this request. Due to some reason, it says the email already corresponds to a registered account. Log in into your account. All right. So let me enter a mail which has not been registered onto this platform. But for this, it also says the email you are using corresponds to account. So it's making it necessary for you to log in first, then do things. So that bug won't be valid, because in that thing, you should be able to log like order anything from the account of the victim. So yeah, that won't be possible right here. Now if I log in right here, I enter my mail, the password, side by side what's the error it's giving. I'm entering the password, it's not picking up this. I guess due to excessive scanning at the back end, it's giving me this particular thing. Now as this is a beta platform, it doesn't have much information with it, that's why it's behaving like this. I had a tool, I don't remember the name of the tool, it's known as Cloudflare. Yep. So if I write like Python 3, let me see the usage of this particular thing. So that is really good tool. If I write cloudflare.py, so that sometimes gives you the origin IP of a particular thing, which is like behind that particular Cloudflare WAF, you can sometimes get the IP of that particular thing. So just I'm trying that Python 3 and the domain name which we are hunting on, which is this. Okay, it says please set your census API ID secrets from your environment. Okay, we need to do that. Give me a second, please. So you need to give like this census API ID, census. You would learn a new thing today. Census search. Next. It asks for a password. I click on login. So first thing it's asking is census API ID. So what I would do is, okay, the quota is used a bit. Okay, actually this is a free version, so this thing creates an issue. So if I write export from here, export census API ID is equal to, you pick the API ID from here and paste it right here, click on enter. Then if you want to export the census API secret is equal to, and then the secret right from here, then you can run this tool as we imported it into the environment variables. It says it doesn't seem to be behind Cloudflare, it could be behind CloudFront. So for CloudFront you need to do like this, CloudFront. It says it's getting, but there are no certificates found for this particular thing, so yeah, we can't get the origin IP of this particular thing. Now if I click on forgot password, it says receive a link by email to log in automatically, but I want a, see, it says error occurred because due to that particular tool usage our IP is blocked for a few minutes. That's a normal practice that the IPs get blocked due to the tools. So we can continue testing in the Kali Linux for the meantime. And by the time we got a new message on this, let's see what they are saying. The negotiations were going on. So they say we would call you Gosha as a referee. I say I'm fine with that because pay to they are not doing na. So I am fine with every person being involved for that particular bug. If I don't see a particular hope, I am fine with anyone being involved in that bug. All right, so I see if it's accessible from here. It's accessible. So by the time it's like disallowed from the backend for that IP, we can continue testing right here. Only thing we need to change here is the settings a bit. XY manual proxy. All right, my account. It's asking for a mail. I get logged in now. Now we would see what exactly we can do here to escalate things to another level right here. Over here, we have the my profile page. It's not translating good. Over here, we have an option to change the mail. If I change the mail, let's say I change the mail over here, Arman Sedana. It asks for a current password to update. It says password, old email, new email, and a lot of things. It's a API request, response to this request. Okay, it says country ID registered, prefix this, email is changed, all good. So do we get a mail on email change? So it says a request to change your email has been made by the customer account. Hello, it says hello first name, and this person is totally sitting up on the report. He's sending updates in a while. I guess Yogosha is would be a referee in this particular case. I'm saying that it's a bug even if on the local level, but this person wants mediation. I'm fine with that. All right. So if I go with this particular account, it says bonjour first name, and it gives like you can log in. Is this fixed from here? Because it's for a short duration. Finally, it's fixed because it's very hard to test in Kali because it's relatively very slow. It's very hard to test from here. All right. So if I try logging in using previous mail, it would say it won't allow me. And I would test for some very good bugs. For example, now my official mail is this. Just for instance, now I would use my brain to test for bugs. Now the official mail is this, right? I'm agreeing to that point. Now, if let's say I open this website and I open it right here, I generate a forgot password token for this particular mail. Just keep seeing what I'm trying to do. I generated this particular login link for this account, right? It says click here to log into your account. I would use this request, but in the meantime, I changed this mail. For example, I changed my mail to again Siddhana Arman 2003, and it's asking for the current password. So technically, after the email change, the access to the email, the previous email for any sort of stuff should be declined. It should be near and nil. But if I am login, I would even have got a mail that this is right, and over here I might have gotten a mail that it's changed. It's fine. But over here I have a mail which says to log in, click here. This token contains the magic link for logging in. So if I log out from here, I want to analyze that link better. I logged out from here. If I capture this request, I analyze it right here. A response to this request, it says moved permanently. It would open right here. In it, it has the ID, it has the token, and let's see if it logs us in. In the auto login, it has this particular parameters. This is the particular request which is responsible for auto login. It says internal server error. That is right. It should throw an internal server error that the token is expired. So this functionality is safe. But it might not be the case with the forgot password token. You can check that even. But if it's safe, it would be safe too. Say I log in with this particular thing right here. Now I would like shortlist things one by one which I need to test. The basic bugs I have tested. Here there is a royalty program. It says choose my gift, register a unique code. Okay. In the testing, the testing environment now, they also had given some another functionality to test. We would look at that too. Just a minute. Now this person is totally irritating me. He's saying these are bugs. To be very honest, on session token, I say put Yogosha in the intermediary. The Yogosha would decide what exactly would be done in this particular case. Now, what I was saying is that yep, they have a particular functionality where they say buy a voucher by using this thing. The barcode is to do reservation for online booking. Use a voucher online booking location. To pay, you have two options. gift card. All right, so there are a lot of functionalities. If I write like this, I click on validate. So over here, this is the code functionality where it says validate. I want to see how the backend is treating this particular thing. It might have said that, yeah, it's not right. But if I put a colon after this, it says unprocessable entity. Right, because that this token might be stored somewhere at the backend, and we should use it like this. SQL map minus R. All right. There's a WAF which would block a lot of traffic, and we might not get results as we want, but this least we could do in this case. Then there is my point score. It says you have 20 points for welcome. For 100 points is one product offered. You get it from here. If I reload this page, it says get customer loyalty points. If I say response to this request, okay. So all these things are managed from this portal. I'm trying to understand the application a bit. So it says for 1 point you can add this. Okay, then let's add this. It says quantity is 1. If I enter the quantity minus 1, response to this request, it would show an error, I guess. I add this thing up, quantity 1. If I write quantity 2, it won't be there is SKU means stock keeping unit. We'll test all these functionalities in a minute. It says minus 1 point. It deducts 1 point, and here it transfers everything. Alright, I'm getting some flow of it, how it's working. That in order to get this particular thing, 1 point is deducted, right? Getting it. So if I click on add response to this request, in the response it would deduct my minus 1 point. That would be the information out here. 1. So if I see like that, I would see my Cadillac points used is 1. I say 0. I don't want to use any points. 0. In the points, I say 0 and I let it go. So you see very clearly that my points might not be used. Okay, it's used. So it was just a front end artifact. If I click on minus, if I create cart item UID, if I take this request somewhere and I try doing things on it. It's showing the errors. It says URI is vulnerable. URI parameter 1 is vulnerable. It's testing for the backend. It might sometime gives false positives, guys. We can't be really happy. It's testing for all backend things. But if it says it's injectable, it would be injectable. Because SQL map gives less false positives as compared to other things. It says the backend DABMS is front base. So if I run this particular thing again, just to check everything is in line, so I just need to confirm. It says backend DBMS is front base. If this is right, it would be a P1 bug. Guys, बहुत पैसा मिलेगा. To be very honest, you can't even think. So if I write current DB, if I can even get the current DB, I am money playing in money. Current DB. If it just tell me the name of that particular DB, it's retrieving. If it retrieves, nah, I swear, bros, 12, 20, 2000, 2500 euros kahin nahi gaye. Okay, no cast. I need to fetch that particular thing as a proof. On front base, you will need to use schema names for enumeration as a counterpart to database names on other DBMS. Uh, just let me fetch the solution for it. It's a confirmed SQL because we were able to resolve this issue in SQL map. Let's see to it. For Yogosha, रुक जाओ तुम लोग तो. तुम लोगों को तो एक P1 भेजता हूँ अभी, फिर पूछूंगा पैसे देने नहीं देने. Schema enumeration is DBMS front base. Schema. Let's try. DBMS is front base. Front base. Hopefully it works. Okay, I guess there is some issue with my writing front base because this process is very crucial. If once we get the name of that database, we are good. Because we need to prove the impact, na. It says unable to retrieve the database name. Let me use my another tool, Gauri. I use this. Just let me confirm, bros. Then I would tell you how things are being done. SQL map minus R. For this, everything is sorted because SQL map doesn't give faulty outputs. Front base, backend is where we need to find a solution to this. It gives an error, I don't know why. Let me manually confirm it too. Sometime it gives faulty positives as well. Because without manually confirming, rare case hota hai, but it sometimes gives. Instead of this particular code, put this thing and see what it reacts back. It says a bad request. So how it is saying that it's a bug? In front base, you will need to use schemas for enumeration as a counterpart. Let me use this exact wording, then see what resolution it gives us. Okay. No cast schema. Let's combine this. No. If Gauri gives me the same result that yeah it's injectable, then only I would believe, because here it says it's not injectable and both the tools should say it's injectable, then only I can say that yeah it's injectable. Because these issues arise when things are not injectable. Hmm. I also believe that. Threads. No, it's not injectable. It's a false positive. That's why there were retrieval problems. So you should verify all these things. It's part of the journey, guys. You sometimes get very happy, you think, oh, money, 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 but you should verify things because it ultimately impacts your overall reputation. If you do claims which you are not sure, so that's bad. So always before reporting you should see that. Okay, it's not working as expected. Now to just be double sure, I want to give it a second chance to run and then see how it's reacting, and give it a random number, then test something. Sometime na it uh, works that way. If it shows the same result second time, then only we can see. But we need to, I guess, clear the cache first. Now see how fast it went. That clearly means in the previous time it was giving a false positive. You can even create a new file to just cross verify. To cross verify things, I enter this, and yep. See, it says it's not injectable. You can try a few mutations. So so yeah, we confirmed it's not injectable. It was a false positive the previous time. Acha hua na we guys didn't blindly reported it. All right, so we were testing for the bugs right here. So one more way of testing these things is, for example, you are exploring the website now, just keep this thing on, the http history. You get a lot of requests going on from here. You can see what could be of potential interest to you. So that's this way also of doing things. Then you go to my addresses. Then you can like arrange it using hosts, that which host you are particularly interested in. Generally the SQL injections are on to the parameters which are linked to the database, like the backend. I'm entering anything. I click on add a new address. It's an API endpoint. On APIs, the SQL injection is not possible. Now there is this endpoint which says ID is equal to new. If I test this endpoint a bit, so if I give right here SQL map minus u and give it like this, it says and ID parameter is empty. It would start testing on this. It's not dynamic, okay. So you should give some value also if you want to give, because it would make some difference onto the results. Like if I write new, I put a static over here, it would make some difference. Sometimes we get blocked by WAFs even in these process. Then my payment methods, we should check right here, an error occurred. Then my communications, your preferences are taken into accounts, this will be effective. My beauty profile, it says make an appointment. Okay, So if I click on make an appointment, how it's exactly seeing this? It says event booking, event place is equal to this particular URL. If instead of this particular URL I give like bing.com, https bing.com, it says bing.com will not allow Firefox to display this page. That means we can open any website right here. If I write evil.com, the evil.com would be embedded right here, which is very, very dangerous. It's getting loaded in an iframe. Understanding the criticality of this thing, that we can load anything right here. So if I understand this particular bug very carefully, so this would be a bug like iframe injection using URL redirection. So in this particular case we are facing same scenarios, that after 2 seconds of loading the frame the discourse website got redirected to this. We are able to store anything, but I'm not able to find the exact case. One second, let me see one thing. I think I can escalate it to SSRF. I just think, I am not giving a surety, that if I put in my payload over here and I click on enter, it would try loading it. I might get yups. I can escalate it to SSRF. If I write nmap, that means if I send this link to a particular person, I can escalate this issue to SSRF. So, yups. Let me close this up, guys. Hmm. So if I fetch this over here, let me see if any of these is the internal IP of the website. If this is an internal IP, it would be really great for us if the port gets scanned. I'm just looking for that thing. One 172. None of these is allowing me to do the port scan internally, but it has a criticality. I would report it. अरे उनको ट्राई these triads are really high on weed. इनको समझाना पड़ेगा that how exactly the criticality of this thing would go up. So I am looking out for a report which matches my case to SSRF. So we are facing some similar issue, right? Where I say the thing is getting loaded right here, but I want something like a HackerOne report or something like that, that I can explain the impact to them. So according to them, if I would be putting like, I know it's not going to work, it's not the typical scenario. They say if you are able to fetch anything right here, right like this, file is equal to hc password. It won't work, I know that. But using this request, can we fetch a file on the server? My concern is that can we fetch a particular file on the server? I'm reporting it straight away that https evil.com. We can load the entire website on this. That means I can load my website on this. So it's highly critical. And it could lead to always SSRF. So, yep. URL redirection. It's iframe injection leads to SSRF. Hacker one. Oh, we can try triggering the XSS too, if there is a way out from that. You can try triggering the XSS too, but let me find the same scenario. An SSRF is for sure possible. I have already checked that. But I'm seeing what exactly I could do to increase the severity of this particular thing. So it says if I load a file, I can exploit it. It says XSS trigger via HTML iframe injection. If I can trigger XSS, it would be really good. Netlify, what's Netlify sandbox server? Let me see that. A person has done that. So we can take this. Research is very important, guys. I can report it straight away, but we should try to escalate it. I don't think if I would try putting it up straight away it would work. It's blocking my payload. If I'm putting it straight away, it's not that simple. Here there was a write up about that, but nothing of them is leading on to something really good. Now they are loading this thing into this particular thing and they say it's popping up accesses for them, but for us it would block this particular thing. So I would report it like simply. So I want a report where iframe injection leads to SSRF. Scope URL is right here. I would wait for these bugs to get triaged, then only I would uh, hunt for another bugs. To get IP addresses, right? Then attach the screenshots right here, which is 31 and 32. One thing which is more coming into my mind, I don't know exactly how it would be to RC. I would research about it because I don't want I keep thinking and some other person should report. I don't want that specifically. The CVSS would be high on everything. It would impact. So yeah, that's all for today, guys. Thank you. See you tomorrow.